Good morning and welcome to the Daily Light Devotion. I hope all of you are doing well. And I'm recording for the 6th of December. And today, in Encountering the Savior series, we're looking at the Prince of the World and the Peace of Christ. We looked at the peace of Christ yesterday, but we're going to continue, right? We're looking at John chapter 14, verses 28 to 31. Jesus is preparing his disciples for his departure. They're troubled, fearful, and unsure, right? But Jesus speaks with calm authority and purpose. And in these verses of chapter 14, he reveals why they should rejoice as his return to the Father and why his departure is not defeat, but it's a victory, right? It's fulfilling God's purpose. Why the enemy cannot touch him, and why his love for the Father leads him to the cross. So in verse 28 says, "If you've loved me, you would rejoice because I said, I'm going to the Father, for my Father is greater than I." So the disciples are grieving Jesus' departure, right? It's a very intimate conversation, these verses 14, 15, 16. Um, but Jesus tells them the true love celebrates his return to glory. Greater than I does not mean Jesus is less divine. It refers to the Father's position in the divine mission of Jesus. Jesus came from the Father, now he returns to the Father. Sometimes love rejoices even when it costs us something, because God's plan is greater than what we think or we decide or what we're facing, right? What looks like a loss for us may be glory for God. So we must understand that, and we must look at that way. Verse 29 he says, "And I now have told you before it comes, that when it does come to pass, you may believe." So Jesus predicts the events before they happen to anchor the faith after that happens. So when the cross comes and when he dies, when the tomb closes, when fear overwhelms them, they will remember his words. Jesus prepares us in advance for whatever's coming, challenges, problems, trials. We cannot, we may not understand it yet, but he does. And when God speaks, he prepares us beforehand so that he becomes the anchor, during those times and afterwards also. Verse 30, "The ruler of this world is coming, and he has nothing in me." So Satan is called the ruler of the world, but only in temporary sense, in limited sense. And he's coming through Judas, through the religious leaders, through the Romans during that time, through the darkness of the hour. But Jesus declares boldly, he has nothing in me. No sin, no weakness, no foothold, no claim. Right? Jesus goes to the cross not because of Satan overpowering him, but because he chose to lay down his life, and it was prophetic, it was prophesied. The enemy has no authority over those who walk in the holiness and truth, right? The cross is not Satan's victory, it's Jesus' obedience, right? Verse 31, "But that the world may know that I love the Father, and as the Father gave me the commandments, so I do. Arise, let us go from here." Jesus explains the deepest motivation behind the cross. Not nails, not soldiers, not betrayal, not injustice. But the love of the Father. His obedience is the greatest demonstration of love. And Jesus says, "Arise, let us go from here." That marks the moment of they leave the upper room and begin the walk towards Gethsemane, the Garden of Gethsemane. Uh, True love expresses itself through obedient action, not mere words. Every step Jesus took towards the cross was an act of love towards the Father and for us, right? So, what are some of the life applications here? Um, we need to understand that we need to rejoice in God's plan even when we don't understand it, right? Let Jesus' word anchor our hearts. And, we need to stand firm against the enemy and obey out of love. We also need to follow Jesus's example. Uh, we need to walk in boldness, loving obedience, even when it leads us sometimes to difficult places, right? Jesus is always there. So I want to just share this encouragement with each one of you. Jesus did not go to the cross defeated or fearful. He went in love, purpose, and victory, right? The enemy had no claim on him. And because we belong to Christ, the enemy has no rightful claim on us either. We need to walk in that confidence. We need to walk in that peace. We need to walk in that obedience. For our Savior has gone before us, prepared the way for us, and filled our hearts with His presence and peace. So have a wonderful day today, Saturday today, and I will see you tomorrow. Goodbye.